90s icon Tia Mowry in Swimsuit shares favorite memories. Here are her top diet and fitness habits. Daily exercise. Tia Mowry is living her best life traveling in her swimsuit. In a new social media post, the sister star shows off her fab AT-47 figure in a bathing suit while vacationing around the world. This is your sign to stop waiting and just go. Book the flight, take the trip, life won't wait for you. Some of my favorite memories were made in Jamaica, Dubai, and Thailand. The food, the energy, the people. Each place taught me something new. Go see the world, you won't regret it, she captioned the shares of Instagram snaps. How does the actress approach health and wellness? Here are her top diet and fitness habits. Tia exercises daily. Health and wellness are so important in your day-to-day routine. She told Eating Well, I try to get in an hour of activity every day. She added on Instagram, happy weekend. I love to start off the weekend with a good sweat, she captioned a gym selfie. Even if you only have 20 minutes, it's an important part of your #wellness journey. Get moving. Healthy eating, eating well, is also essential to Tia, she told the publication. Currently, I've been working hard on sticking to a low-carb diet of protein and veggies, she added. When it comes to my health, I've been focusing on things that support my immune system. Not forgetting to eat my veggies frozen and fruits loaded in vitamin C, including supplements with zinc, garlic, and iron, she added on Instagram. 3. Sleep. Tia prioritizes rest. Getting enough sleep is also important, she told Eating Well. Sometimes I try and sneak in a nap during quiet time. What are the health benefits of sleep? According to the Sleep Foundation, getting enough Z's is a mood booster, promotes heart health, regulates blood sugar, improves mental function, restores your immune system, helps relieve stress, and aids in weight loss. 4. Mental health. And mental health is something I focus on. I love journaling, taking time to focus on myself and what I want to accomplish in the future, Tia told Eating Well. I always start my days with supplements, Mowry told Eating Well. She shared on Instagram that she has been taking Answer vitamins, a brand she started. The past few months have been up and down, but at Shopinzer has always been such a joy for me because I'm able to remind women that taking charge of their health is so important and deserved, she wrote. Tia Mowry looks back on her favorite sister episodes, from the Olsen twins to on-set prom. Key points. With her twin sister Tamara, Tia Mowry was one of the major stars of 90s teen-centered television on Sister. Tia Mowry reflects on her favorite experiences from the 6 seasons of the series, including their prom night and putting her double Dutch skills to good use. Mowry also remembers favorite guest stars including the Olsen twins, Keenan and Kel, Lisa Leslie, and Kobe Bryant. Sister talk about a two-way twister, shaking up the family tree with sibling synchronicity. If you're singing those words aloud, you were likely one of millions who tuned in to watch Sister. Sister is part of ABC's TGIF lineup or on its second home the WB, or perhaps you caught it in reruns on Disney Channel or ABC Family. The sitcom, which ran for 6 seasons from 1994-1999, followed twin sisters Tia and Tamara, played by real-life twins Tia and Tamara Mowry, who reconnect as teens and find themselves embroiled in hijinks as they face high school and the complications of their blended family. For Tia Mowry and her sister, it was an opportunity to pursue their acting dreams on a show they loved as part of a larger trend of teen-centered television. It was definitely a fun time where I feel like the youth were able to express themselves through art, she reflects. You had TRL, you had the television shows, like my show. It was a form of expression for what a lot of teens were going through. However, Mowry says that Sister came with extra pressure given that she and her sister were among the few black teenage girls with leading roles on primetime TV. We were very aware that there weren't a lot of girls on television that looked like us, she explains. We did take that role on so seriously when it came to representation. Now, people are like, oh my god, you were the first person that I saw on TV that had hair like mine that made me embrace my curly hair, she continues. To be so impactful and be a part of certain trends was just so fascinating. When people see my sister and I, the words that come out are, you guys are iconic. I feel so proud to be a part of that. Though some moments stand out more than others. In honor of our 90s issue, Mowry takes us through some of her favorite memories from making all 119 episodes of Sister. The Meeting. Mowry cites the show's pilot as her favorite episode, purely for what it established and the path it put her and her sister on. We were 14, 15 years old, these young girls from Texas with not a lot of stuff under our belt, she says. Everybody dreams of moving to Hollywood and becoming an actor, and here we are actually getting to live out our dream at such a young age. So, you could just imagine how big that felt. To be able to do it with my twin sister. It was so surreal. It was hard performing in front of a live audience and making people laugh. But the first episode was, just imagine these young girls bursting with pure joy. A dream literally came true. Mowry thinks that part of the reason the show became so beloved from the get-go was the key bond between her and her real-life sister. Because we are a family that's in this industry, we didn't feel alone, she notes. We had that support system. After a day of work, Tamara and I would go home, and we would talk about it or practice lines together. The prom. Near the end of season 5 and Tia and Tamara's graduation from high school, the twins enjoy a rite of passage, prom night. However, it's not one they got to experience in real life. So, Mowry looks back on this episode fondly as her only opportunity to go to prom. We didn't get to go to prom, she reveals. The writers knew that, so they were like, okay, what would you like your prom to be like? We want you to be able to experience your prom. So they wrote an episode that was specifically Tamara and I going to prom. We got to get in the gowns. I remember we straightened our hair for that episode. Double Dutch. In season 4, Tia and Tamara enter a double Dutch contest that goes awry when Tia becomes obsessed with beating her old school bully at something. Both sisters had learned to double Dutch several years before for a commercial, which was their very first audition when they came to Los Angeles to try to make it as actors. We didn't know how to at all, Mowry says of that initial audition sister. And the house that we were staying at was across the street from a school. My sister and I, we literally went over to the fence and started yelling at the kids, hey, do you guys know how to double Dutch? We were like 12 years old, she continues with a laugh. Then some kids came over and they taught us how to double Dutch. We ended up booking the commercial, and then, we didn't have to double Dutch. But the sister writers knew the girls had this skill in their back pocket, so they finally got the chance to put it to good use. Slime Party. Tia and Tamara faced off against another set of famous twins, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, in season 4. The twins guest starred on the show as themselves, playing against Tia and Tamara in a TV game show. For Mowry, it was a full-circle moment as she and Tamara were discovered on the set of Full House. It was almost like they were doing a favor for us, which was very sweet, remembers Mowry. My brother, Taj, played Teddy on Full House, which was Michelle's best friend. My mom couldn't afford babysitter money, so we would hang out with my mom when Taj was working. Some people saw that my sister and I were twins, and so, they asked us to babysit the Olsen twins. So, we had a cool relationship with them. The idea for this episode actually came from the Mowry twins. At the beginning of every season, the writers would have my sister and I sit down and chat with them, Tia explains. They would always incorporate our real-life experience to the show. So they brought the Olsen twins on and we were just grateful that they decided to do it. Child's Play. As Sister reached its final seasons, another Mowry sibling was also racking up laughs on a WB sitcom. Taj Mowry, Tia and Tamara's younger brother, starred on Smart Guy as TJ. Henderson, a 10-year-old with an advanced IQ. During Smart Guy's first season, Taj guest starred on Sister as TJ. Henderson, acting as the twins' SAT tutor. Suzanne de Passé was the producer of both Sister and Smart Guy, and Mowry says it was her idea to have a set of crossover episodes between the shows. We loved working with our brother, says Tia. He will not work with us today, which is so crazy. He's so independent. I don't know if that has changed. Maybe it has, but in his early 20s, he was like, I'm staying far away from Tia and Tamara. But back then we loved working with each other. He was the best person to work with because he's just so incredibly talented and funny. Inherit the Twin. Another teen show crossover occurred in season 4, when Kenan Thompson and Kel Mitchell guest starred as two new kids at the school, Trevor and Todd. That came about due to the fact that Kim Bass, who had initially created Sister, also created Kenan and Kel. We actually went on all that, Mowry remembers of their further connection to Thompson and Mitchell. This was definitely a time where young kids were able to soar and start their careers at such a young age. Of course there's pros and cons to that, but it was definitely a time. Ladies' choice. On the show, Tia was canonically a huge fan of the WNBA, though in real life she doesn't share her fictional counterpart's intense passion. In Season 5, star player Lisa Leslie appeared as herself and presented Tia with quite the dilemma: take a dream job with the WNBA's media department or go to college. A lot of these stars came on the show because they were huge fans of the show, Mowry explains. Lisa was a huge fan of the show, and we actually became really good friends after that. We would go to each other's homes and we would go out to dinner and stuff. She became like a big sister to Tamara and I around that time. She was very protective. Kidnapped. Lisa Leslie wasn't the only basketball star to appear on the sitcom. In 1996, a very young Kobe Bryant guest starred on the show. Bryant was also a massive fan of the series. Kobe was very sweet, Mowry remembers. He would invite us to certain parties that he would be at. I believe we went bowling together with him and his sister. He was so humble, and we met him at the beginning of his career as an LA Laker. Neither Mowry nor Bryant ever forgot his time on the show. Throughout the years I would be courtside, she adds. And I'm talking about like 10, 15 years later, I would be courtside and he would say hi. We all hung out for a minute. It was short-lived, because he got famous so fast, and he ended up falling in love with Vanessa. His world just changed very quickly. But there was a time we all hung out together, and I will always remember. Musical guests. Sister had a stacked lineup of musical guest stars, including R&B trio 702, rapper Christopher, Kid, Reed, hip-hop group Goody Mob, Maya, and Blackstreet. But Tia Mowry's favorite musical guest star was rapper WC because of their rapport when the cameras weren't rolling. He actually taught me how to crip walk, she explains. I'm always showing my crip walk, especially of late with Kendrick Lamar. And the reason why I know how to do it is because of WC. He literally taught me himself between takes. Singer-songwriter Brian McKnight also appeared on the show, not as himself, but as Tia's college calculus professor, and later in the same season, a fictionalized blues singer. I had the biggest crush on Brian McKnight, Mowry says with a laugh. I was a huge fan. So, when he was on the show, I was so nervous. Model Tia. In Season 4, Tia and Tamara learned a valuable lesson: don't trust strangers you meet on the internet. When the girls befriend someone named Varick online, they beg their parents to go to Varick's studio for a photo shoot. They're told no, but Tamara goes anyway and learns the hard way that Varick is not who he says he is. I don't remember how that episode came about, but that episode is still relevant today, Mowry says. That's what was so amazing about these shows back then. They were fun, but they were also learning lessons, and they were so relatable to what young kids are going through. It was a way for kids' stories to be told. Today it's just as bad, Mowry adds, of online predators. So many kids are being catfished and they're meeting people in real life that they met online, and harm is done to them. So, that episode is one example of why Sister is still popular today. Indeed, Mowry believes there's still plenty in the sitcom to entertain the teenagers of today. Some kids will come up to me and then their parents will be with them, and then they'll say, "Oh my God, my daughter loves your show. I used to watch your show growing up," she adds. It just speaks to how these stories are still relatable now. All of us go through the same thing. Even though we're living in different generations, we all were teens before and we all have experienced peer pressure, the awkward stage, getting hurt for the first time, growing pains, and insecurities. It shows how impactful these shows are still today.